Food and beverage supply chain is one of the most demanding in the world. Perishable products, unpredictable demand, and rising customer expectations is actually really complex. One delay, one mismatch, or one inefficiency doesn't just cost money, but it also raise the trust. Hi, jury. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're the Morals. We're gonna try to crack the Serenity supply chain code by our tagline Brewing Real-Time Responsiveness. I'm Shadani, here with my friends Anissa, Jessica, and Amatul. We'll try to break those codes. Next. So basically, Serenity got two products, which are Aronica and Senja. We try to compare both of these products based on how the process and also what challenge did they process into. The first one, we try to map it by the multi-cross dimensional analysis, which we conclude that there are four challenges that need to be finished by each and every single process that happen during Serenity supply chain process. The first one is the financial impact, logistic complexity, operation vulnerability, and demand variability. And we try to weigh it based on what we think is the most important one. And we could see that the total for the Aronica is 6.5 and Senja is 3.5. Here we could hypothesize that Aronica got a lot more challenge that needs to be cleared in order to make sure that Serenity got uh, the advantage of the supply chain itself. Next. Next. So basically, we tried also map each and every single sub process during this two product. We used the pseudo quadratic matrix in order to make sure that each and every single process is leverage, strategic, non-critical, or bottleneck. For the Arunica one, there are like 5 process, and we see that the overall of the Arunica is basically near strategic to non-critical one. However, for Senja, we could see that a lot of the sub-process that happen for the supply chain process is basically on bottleneck. So we conclude that Senja has less challenge and impact in all of the supply chain process, yet some of the bottleneck that could be improved, while Arnica is the more challenging side that needed strategic approach to fulfill its potential. Based on those two comparative analyses, we conclude that there are two approaches that need to be done in order to make sure that uh, the supply chain process in Serenity would be improved. The first one for Aranica, the core strategy would be collaboration with external stakeholders, and for Senja is process simplification. Thank you. Next.
Here we've analyzed Senja sales across retailers, e-commerce, and direct channels. The chart shows that only 5 flavors contribute about 70% of total sales. And using an ABC analysis, we categorize these as A, B, and C flavors. Category A flavors are our core SKUs. We'll keep them available across all channels and distribute with 3 packaging, which are according to the data available in all flavors, which are glass bottles, Tetra Wedge, and can. For B and C flavors, we will only use one-way packaging. For category B flavors, which are medium volume, we'll shift them to one-way packaging with rotating seasonal flavors every 3 months. Meanwhile, for the C flavors, which are low volume, we propose making them limited with seasonal flavors for about 6 months. By focusing on what's worth, we simplify production, improve forecasting, and reduce the risk of stockouts or excess inventories. But while streamlining SKUs also presents risk, which are first, dependence on specified partners. Because we are narrowing the range and concentrating volume on fewer suppliers and distributors, any disruption with one partner can have a bigger impact. Mitigating this risk is by maintaining a backup list of approved suppliers and distributors while building small safety stocks for critical packaging materials. The second risk is supply chain disruptions. Seasonal rotations and e-commerce spikes can still clash with logistic delays or factory issues. And we can mitigate this by doing staggered production using predictive data. And for the third risk, which is coordination failures, multiple channels and rotating SKUs can still happen, while also miscommunication between marketing, production, and distribution. Mitigating this risk can be done by creating an integrated demand supply. And by putting these safeguards in place, we can get the benefits of SKU rationalization and demand management without creating new vulnerabilities. The next challenge is handling temporary demand spikes caused by promotions and influencer campaigns. We initiate two initiatives. The first one is long-term contracting with staggered purchase order. Instead of shipping one big order all at once, deliveries could be spread throughout the years. So this keeps production steady, reduces warehouse overloads, and protects distributor pricing. It also turns the 2-week price increase from a challenge into an advantage. And second is the predictive planning using various data inputs. By analyzing past online sales, we can forecast spikes earlier. So this means we can stock fulfillment centers ahead of time, adjust packaging needs, avoid online stockouts, and meet the availability. Together, these steps let us smooth demand surges and coordinate inventory across channels more effectively. Next.
As you can see, this slide shows how Serenity can begin balancing retail and e-commerce by connecting the flow of goods with the flow of information. As a quick win, when e-commerce face stockouts, retailers can take overflow orders. This prevents lost sales online and smooths inventory across both channels. But the midterm challenge is visibility. At present, Serenity has limited visibility of retailer inventory, which leads to mismatch. By training retail partners to track and share stock data, we can improve forecasting, allocation, and replenishment across all channels. In short, the first step toward balance is making goods and data move together. Next. Looking further ahead, balance is also about prioritizing the right partners. Not every player in the supply chain should be treated the same. In the long term, we recommend mapping partners into two groups, strategic and non-strategic partner. Strategic partners, such as key retailers and e-commerce platforms, should receive deeper integration and priority allocation because they directly serve consumers. Non-strategic partners, like smaller e-commerce and retailers, will be maintained by our outsourcing partner. By redefining partner roles in this way, Serenity can optimize where inventory is placed, respond faster to online demand surge, and at the same time, keep retail performance steady. This will create true balance between retail success and e-commerce agility.
Serenity is growing fast, but to keep that momentum, we need smarter ways to produce, distribute, and secure our supply. Today, I'll share three key strategies. First, how real-time customer data can guide production. Second, how a flexible fulfillment system can balance stock between retail and online. And third, how stronger supplier partnerships can secure our bottle supply while making operation leaner and more sustainable. At Serenity, we are moving toward a production model guided by real-time customer data. Today, beverage companies often face two challenges: producing too many products variants that don't sell well, or missing out on the flavors that customer truly want. By combining the customer purchase trends, flavors preference, and retailer inventory levels with online sales data, we can change this. Imagine knowing at any given moment which flavors are trending upwards or slowing down. This allows us to predict demand with a much higher accuracy. Instead of guessing, we produce exactly what customers are asking. This avoid unnecessary stock, reduce waste, and ensure every product variant has a clear market demand. The result is smarter, leaner production system that aligns closely with real customer needs, while also strengthening profitability and sustainable for Serenity. The next step is to rethink how we manage fulfillment across both retail and online channels. Traditionally, stock for physical stores and online platform is separated, which often creates two problems: stock out in channel while excess stock sits idle in another. Serenity can solve this by building a flexible fulfillment system where inventory moves seamlessly between stores and online. For example, if online sales spikes up during the promotions, nearby stores can share their stocks to cover the surge. Conversely, if the store runs low on certain flavor, online warehouse can step into and replenish it quickly. By creating a single shared inventory pool, we remove silos and increase product availability across channels. The outcome is a fewer lost sales, reduced waste from overstocking, and better customer experience, whether they shop in stores or online. Customer always find what they want. And finally, beyond managing demand and distribution, Serenity can apply same strategy thinking to its supply base, specifically to glass bottle suppliers. Glass bottles are usable, but managing their collections and processing in-house can be complex. And with suppliers, uh, and with the suppliers and under some arrangement, supplier will not only provide new bottles but can also collect and clean the used bottle from the market. This creates a closed loop system where Serenity always has a steady and reliable supply of ready to fill bottles. The benefits is twofold. First, it eliminates the bottleneck risk of the bottle shortage, which is critical for continuous productions. And second, it simplifies Serenity operation, letting the company focus more on the product innovations and customer engagement, where suppliers handle the logistic of the bottle recovery. It is efficient, sustainable models and strengthen both supply security and Serenity environment impact. Next. Okay, so overall, Serenity should make the right product in the right place at the right time at the right cost. Thank you, Your Morals.